Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/entitled people. In today's episode, middle-aged Karen parked in the mother parking spot and confronted me about how I'm not entitled to it. Power-tripping roommate attempts to be boss of the house. Entitled prospective land buyer wants owner to carry mortgage. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Middle-aged Karen parked in the mother parking spot and confronted me about how I'm not entitled to it. Hey there, this happened yesterday at my local Loblaws. Most grocery stores here in Canada have a few expectant mothers parking spaces that are intended for pregnant women or parents with babies to use. They are generally closer to the door, usually beside the handicapped spaces or cart corral. I am currently 7 months pregnant and was following a Lexus into the parking lot, and I plan to use one of these spaces. The Lexus ahead of me took this space. I didn't think much of it and parked about 4 to 5 spaces down from it. As I'm walking into the store, the woman in the Lexus, mid-60s, saw that I was very visibly pregnant and says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize," and laughed at me. I'm hormonal and it probably wasn't necessary, but I responded with, "You're obviously not that sorry since you parked in a spot you shouldn't have." She proceeded to get about a foot from me and scream at me, "F***CKU, you're not entitled to this spot." I was caught off guard and started crying, not proud of this, but the hormones are intense sometimes. Thankfully, bystanders don't like it when people yell and physically intimidate a pregnant lady, and about 5 people came over to rip her a new one, telling her she's way out of line and I'm the only person they see who is entitled to the space. One gentleman, my hero, actually called her a Karen. She got back into her car and left. I just don't understand why she felt the need to confront me. Did she think apologizing for her intentionally shitty behavior would make her look less like a Karen? Like I wasn't going to say anything, I just assumed she needed it because she had a baby or whatever, but she didn't. So that's my crazy Karen story, mild compared to most here, but it was honestly scary. People don't apologize when they are obviously in the wrong anymore, they double down and make it somehow your fault. People have no accountability anymore at all. When I was 9 months pregnant, I parked in one of those spots, and as I was getting out of my car, a lady came stomping up to me, clearly looking for a fight. I closed the door and she saw my stomach and her whole demeanor changed, and she smiled nicely, then turned and started towards her car. Some people take those parking spots very seriously. I think she might have fought off people parking there who weren't pregnant. I can't imagine how that would have turned out if I was less pregnant looking. I was pregnant early in the pandemic, and our grocery store had immune-compromised hours, which basically ended up just being elderly people. I got so much shit from old people for going during that time because I wasn't visibly pregnant. It's been my experience that Lexus drivers feel they are entitled to behave the way they want to because they own a Lexus. Power-tripping roommate attempts to be boss of the house. So I'm heading out to meet some friends in the city, only to be accosted by my clearly agitated roommate. Her tense tone: "You need to contribute more to household purchases like paper towels, toilet paper, light bulbs." Me, cheerful tone: "Hello. That sounds good to me. I suppose you didn't realize that I paid for the paper towels in the kitchen as well the toilet paper upstairs then." Her: "And no, you didn't. Those are my paper towels. Brawny brand. I bought them." Fortunately, I was actually able to produce the receipt showing I bought them from Walgreens, as well as the empty Walgreens wrapper which I'd just thrown in the trash can. So after showing the evidence, her ex-boyfriend appears. Him: "Well, I don't like you anyways. I just don't like your vibe. You just rubbed me the wrong way." Me: "Yes, I have observed this. Well, I'm heading out right now to meet some friends in the city, so now's not a great time for this kind of domestic discussion. Why don't you text me to schedule it?" Her: "Oh, well, aren't you fancy?" It was difficult to keep it together after the "aren't you fancy" line, LMAO. Anyway, this narcissist is actually gonna try to get the landlord to evict me. a guy who pays all the bills on time for the above reasons.
Paying bills on time? Aren't you fancy? Why is her ex-boyfriend having any input? Or was he not ex then and realized she was an idiot?
Or she realized he was an ass.
Either way, why was he commenting?
Entitled prospective land buyer wants owner to carry mortgage.
My husband is selling some property he owns.
His realtor called with the news that there was a prospective buyer, and then I heard them laughing and giggling. The realtor was loud, so I could hear some parts of the conversation.
After the call ended, my husband told me what they were laughing at.
It seems the prospective buyer wanted him to carry the mortgage for 10 years, among other demands, and a really low offer.
LOL.
Even the realtor was laughing, but I guess realtor was obligated to present offers.
I had an offer on a home I was selling where they wanted to include my cute little boat and both cars in my driveway.
And all the curtains for a lowball price.
I get the boat and cars, but what's with the curtains? Do you take them with you? That's not normal in my country. We tried to buy a house once and submitted a reasonable offer below the asking price as we researched the area, and it was overpriced.
The owners had never sold a house before and thought they were sitting on a gold mine. They actually said to us during the viewing that they were doing us a favor by selling to us.
It was declined and we didn't go back.
We saw the estate agent months later and he said he regretted going into contact with these people and couldn't wait for the contract to end because from the beginning they ignored the contract, demanded extra services for free and wouldn't listen when he advised the price was too high for the area. They wanted him to pay for someone to clean the house and tend the overgrown garden for every viewing even though he charged a flat rate to advertise and be in liaison only. Reminds me of the time I had just inherited a tract of rural land in a farming area and I received a phone call about it. It was from a fundamentalist Christian who said God told him to reach out to me and buy the land because I was a fellow Christian. The price he proposed was very low, and he wanted me to hold the mortgage.
Told him God would have to tell me the same thing to make the deal work. We laughed about that offer too, and I wasn't even considering selling at that point. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.